All right, at this point of your essay, hopefully you've written your opening. We went through, we did the organizer, then I showed you how to draft the opening. I'm just going to show you this little chart again, our little 5-paragraph essay. The triangle represented our opening. We started off big, we narrowed to a point. Then we have body 1, body 2, body 3, and a closing. Right now we should be on body 1, so that's what I'm going to work on with you now is body paragraph 1. I'm going to go to our sample essay in our packet. All right, guys, I'd like you to make sure you're following along with me on the sample essay. It looks like this. You can see where we marked up our opening paragraph previously to show you where we're at. When we did our opening paragraph, we started with a big idea. We narrowed to a thesis. So when I drafted my thesis, here's where I left off. Specifically, I need to be more conscientious, patient, and optimistic in order to become a better teacher. There was my thesis. All right, so at this point, you should all have your opening drafted. Now we're ready for body 1. All right, I'm going to go through my body paragraph with you. Now, body 1 starts on this page for you guys. It's going to start on this page, and then it's going to flip over to this page. So this is all body 1. It's a pretty long, well-developed paragraph. Now, when I do it, all right, you're going to be following along here. I just printed off the same paragraph onto this sheet of paper so we could see it all on one particular page. As I go through this paragraph, I'm going to highlight some different parts of it, and I will pause so that you can catch up to me and you can keep up with me as you draft body 1. So here's our body 1 for our personal goals essay. All right, the first thing we want to do is draft a clear, logical topic sentence. Although I am a well-organized person, I could benefit from being more thorough and conscientious. All right, if you look at my topic sentence, I identified the fact that I am reasonably well organized, but my topic of my paragraph is right here. I need to be more thorough and conscientious. So very simply, we just want to lay out the topic of our first paragraph. Now, when we do this and we draft this, here's how easy this is going to be. You guys should have right here in your organizer your goals laid right out here, why you need to improve in this area. Everything we need for body paragraph 1 is right here. So if you have this organizer out, we can write our paper rather easily. Okay? So here's what you're going to want out. You're going to want your organizer sitting in front of you. So set this in front of you. And then let's get a lined sheet of paper, from your notebook. Set that out so we can draft this right along as I teach it. All right? So here we go. Whatever your goal 1 is. Mine was being conscientious. So here's my topic sentence. Although I am a well-organized person, I could benefit from being more thorough and conscientious. All right, using that as a model, I would like you to draft your first topic sentence. Okay, so pause me and draft your topic sentence. Okay, so at this point you should have a topic sentence. It should have come from right off of your organizer. Mine came right from my organizer. Although I'm a well-organized person, I could benefit from being more thorough and conscientious. So there's my topic sentence. Now I'm going to go through and I want to discuss why I need to improve in this area. And I want to give specific examples from my life to show why I need to improve this area. So my next 3 or 4 sentences are all going to be from these 2 boxes. I'm just going to discuss why I need to be more conscientious, and I'm going to incorporate some examples to support that. So you can kind of bounce back and forth from these 2 boxes as you do it. All right, I'm going to show you this sample, and then I'm going to let you guys work on it. Remember, you're using your organizer to help you write this. All right? Okay, topic sentence. Although I am a well-organized person, I could benefit from being more thorough and conscientious. For instance, last year I forgot to hand back papers on a few occasions. This was a silly mistake to make because the papers were already corrected. All I needed to do was take them out of the class file folder and hand them back. This year I will add hand back papers to my end of the day checklist so I don't allow corrected papers to pile up. All right, this whole section here, I'm highlighting in orange. All I did was discuss why I need to be more conscientious. I used a transition, for instance, to lead into my first example, how I forgot to hand back papers and how I need to be more conscientious about this. So in those few sentences, I discussed a personal example of why I need to be more conscientious. So look at your topic sentence. Whatever it might have been, whether it was to be more patient, whether it was to be more creative, whatever your topic was, give me a personal example, and discuss why you need to work on that. All right? Go ahead and pause the video. Take a few minutes to get caught up to me. Okay. I'm assuming you've unpaused. You're all caught up to everything I have highlighted. So we did a topic sentence. Then we discussed our personal example and why we needed to improve in this area. My area was conscientiousness. Now I'm going to lead into and smoothly blend a quote from the research. When I say lead into, we want to set up that quote that we use from our research. So you're going to want to look at your quote for your research. You need to set that up. What do I need to talk about first before I jump into this quote? I will also try to be more conscientious when it comes to communicating with parents and students. My quote is about communication, so I tried to set that up and lead into it. Educational researcher Robert J. Marzano found that parental and community involvement is an essential element of an effective school. One key aspect of parental involvement appears to be, quote, good communication, Marzano 48. So you see what I did? I mentioned communication, I kind of paraphrased Marzano, and then I led into and smoothly blended a quote. I took a little tiny fragment of a quote, just this good communication part, blended it smoothly in with my own words, so I didn't say he says or according to Robert Marzano or anything like that. All right. If you had a longer quote, you might do it a little bit differently, but that's the method I chose to use. Remember, at the end of your quote, in parentheses, author's last name and page number. All right. Okay, take a couple minutes, pause me, and catch up to me. Okay. If you've unpaused, you should be at this point. You wrote your topic sentence. You led into and explained your examples. Then you had your personal example of why you need to be more conscientious or whatever your topic was. Now you've led into and smoothly blended a quote from the research. All right, so we're right there. We're after our citation. We always want to explain the quote first. So just kind of explain in our own words what we think the guy meant. And then we're going to explain how that example, how this quote relates to us specifically. All right, so here's my blended quote. I'm going to go through now and explain how this quote relates to me. Last year, I sent home daily emails explaining what we were doing in class and describing my homework. I also updated parents when their sons or daughter had failed to turn in a major paper. This system, although reasonably effective, had some flaws. Unfortunately, some of the email addresses the school had on file were out of date, and some families did not have access to the internet. In order to address these weaknesses, I'm going to add a few procedures this year. 1, I will rotate between sending home email updates and making phone calls in order to ensure that a contact is made. 2, I will mail home notices to failing students at least once per trimester. And 3, I will print out grade reports for students on a bi-weekly basis. Okay, I had a lot of explanation. My quote was about good communication, so everything I did after this quote was explaining how I could improve in regards to communication. All right, and I went through and discussed what some of the flaws in my system were last year and how I could improve. So look at your quote, and all I want you to do is to discuss how this quote relates to you in 2 or 3 or 4 sentences like I just did here. So go ahead and pause me, take a few minutes, catch up, explain how this quote relates to you. Okay, so you've unpaused me. At this point, you've got topic sentence. You discussed a personal example why you need to improve. You led into and blended a quote from the research. You discussed how this quote relates to you. Now you're going to go through and reference a role model. I use this transition. Furthermore, in order to better communicate with students about their essay grades, I will emulate the actions of AP Literature instructor Donna Dolby. Mrs. Dolby sets aside time after school every day to conference with students about their essays. This gives pupils the opportunity to learn from mistakes and to understand the why behind their grade. I will also make myself available for conferencing every day. All right, I just discussed, I talked about communication, how that applies to me, and how if I'm more conscientious, I can have better communication. Then I chose a role model of communication here, Mrs. Dolby, and how conscientious she was by staying after to communicate. So I discussed my role model and how I could learn from her. Okay, go ahead, discuss your role model and get caught up to me. Okay, finally, once we've followed all these steps, topic sentence, discussed personal example of how we can improve, led into and blended a quote, discussed how the quote related to us, cited a role model and discussed how we could learn from a role model. Final thing is our concluding sentence. This commitment, along with improved communication procedures, will demonstrate my thorough, careful nature. My last sentence just kind of wrapped up and came back to my topic. I mentioned how I wanted to be more thorough and careful. That's a synonym for being conscientious. So you look, the concluding sentence comes back to your topic sentence, brings the whole paragraph full circle. Okay? So you can use this video to help you walk step by step through drafting a body paragraph, following the structure we've got laid out for you. Everything on here is laid out in your organizer, so you should be able to take that information and smoothly transition and write a good, logical body paragraph number 1.